Hey, you know what's not cool? I'm just going to throw this out. What the fuck, bro? Sorry, I didn't mean to drop the F there. But seriously, what the fuck?
So they took my youngest daughter is a huge Moana fan. I think it's one of the best animated movies of all time.
Okay.
And they took a movie that's vibrant and colorful, and they took the color away. They made it somehow seem more cartoony, which I don't understand. And then the girl who plays Moana, her natural hair is less curly, and she's supposed to be someone who's out on the waves all day. Like, nothing about... Like, I don't get it. I watched it, and I'm like, okay, like, what are we doing? Like,
this was not my observation, but somebody else said online. It made me chuckle very hard. There must be two suns in this movie because in one shot they're both backlit.
Well, that happens all the time.
I know. It's indicative of what's going on there.
So I think we need to have a talk as a society about the damage that Philip Bloom inadvertently did to cinema.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me explain. You watch Moana and all these other movies, and everything in the background is always so glossy. Right?
Sure.
Okay. You take a look at older movies, and that's not the case. You know, they'll stop down. You know, they'll put it at F4. They'll put it at F8, right? So you can see stuff in the back. All
God
right.
forbid. Yeah.
But when video cameras, like consumer video cameras, when the 5D Mark II first came out, and it's like, oh man, we can get that glossy bokeh that video cameras couldn't get before, and now it's like $3,000. Philip Bloom started doing all of these product review things on Vimeo, and he blew up, and rightfully so. He's a very talented guy, but like the first thing that everyone always talked about was the bokeh.
Yeah.
And now it seems like that's all anyone cares about. You have to have full frame. Okay, but like 95% of the movies you've seen in your life weren't shot full frame.
Sure.
You know? They were shot on 35. You know, that is technically like an APS-C crop, right? It's not full frame. And you go back and take a look at older movies, and they're not all blurry in the background. And I think chasing that aesthetic has made it feel like people are too separated from the background, and they're not in the places they're supposed to be.
Yeah, agreed. Completely agreed.
It makes everything look fake. It makes it look artificial.
But how amazing is it, just as you're saying that, I'm thinking about watching old movies in 4K. Why don't people connect those two things? Because you can have the 4K, but you look at those old movies on film and how beautiful film can look no matter what you're doing to it.
Because I don't think that a lot of the people working now have ever seen a movie projected on film.
Yeah, I know.
And it's like when you see revisionist color correction on like a new 4K disc. You know, a lot of times they're pushing these movies to do things that they literally couldn't have done in a lab.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, that's not how it was supposed to look. You couldn't have made it look like that back then.
Yeah.
If you want to do a new color grade, fine. Give us both. You know, but I think that you have a whole generation now of people working in the industry who are used to one thing. And especially if they got into filmmaking because of like these gear videos where everything is either a big landscape, you know, or a close-up with like, you know, F1.2.
Yeah. But if you want to see something amazing and you live in Tucson, see me Sunday at the Loft because they're doing 35 millimeter screening of Donnie Darko, and you will see the magic that is 35 millimeter. I'm just saying that's a great way to celebrate Easter. I don't know what other people do. What do other people do for Easter?
You also have The Killing listed.
Yes, I do. That's another Loft special. Just saw that on Saturday. First time I got to see that on the big screen. Timothy Carey's face on the big screen is the most beautiful, ugly face that ever existed in the history of man, and I love him so much. Let me also just tell you that it was adorable. An older couple were sitting in front of me. So Jeff, that runs the Loft Cinema, he always does an introduction before, and he was talking about Timothy Carey and talks about how in this movie he decided that he was only going to act with his mouth, with his teeth clenched. He wouldn't open his mouth. That's how he's going to do it. So the first time he comes on screen, I think like 30 minutes into it, and he starts talking like that, the old lady just starts cackling. She goes, "Oh, that's what he was talking about." And it was so beautiful, and that's why I love to watch movies with respectful people who only have commentary like that. It was wonderful. It was glorious. I had so much fun. Another black and white on the big screen. Check mark that off the list of enjoying it to the max.
Is it weird that I like watching black and white movies on VHS?
Not at all. I've got some black and white VHSs in the old closet there, which would be on the other side of the camera. Can't see that. That's hidden. You can only see the podcast setup. Gosh dang it. We're pretending like this is a studio, right? Hey, let's see. Oh, do you want to talk about Backrooms, that 20-year-old that just created this movie that's all the hullabaloo online?
It's like 2.5 hours long, yeah.
Crazy. That's what I'm talking about, though. That's what you and I would have done. I'd done like a 3-hour one.
I hope it works. I really hope it works. The one thing I hope it doesn't do is make things too neat and tidy.
Oh, yep.
Because, I mean, there's obviously like kind of a story there with everything he's released, but like
sure.
It just being these weird liminal spaces on VHS, I don't know. It does something. It feels more like a video game and gets you sucked in.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'll be there to see it. I'm looking forward to it, and good for him. Here's the problem, though.
Yes.
If it doesn't do well, if people pan it, or if it doesn't do X amount at the box office, a young person is not going to get the reins again, because it's been a minute since they gave the reins to a young person for a big movie. That was Josh Trank was the last one.
Yeah, and, it kind of falls not unlike The Naked Gun last year. Like, that was counting on comedies to be back in the theater, whether it was successful or not. So sometimes it's a lot riding on these things. And that is part of the future of movies in 2026. I think we've got a couple of topics that kind of fall into that umbrella. So I figure we get into the big one now and talk about that. I love that a 20-year-old's getting a chance. A24 is rolling the dice. They've done really good at picking projects that are successful before. So I'm really interested to see what this, they call him a YouTube creator. That is what it is, So let's see what they're bringing to the table. I love a new voice in cinema, and hopefully that voice appreciates the history of things and can continue to help us keep the history of movies around. I don't know this person, but I'm just hoping.
Yeah. That's kind of the key, right? They're not going to basically say it's my way and kind of disregard, 120 years of film history.
You hope you're their Jenna Ortega. That crazy lady loves the weirdest of weird films.
Yeah.
She's always talking about them, and that makes me so happy. She's so good. What do you see? We're a couple months into 2026. We can project out at least a little bit and kind of see the AI things that are being talked about, the movies that are coming. We've already talked a little bit about aliens. Micro movies are also still making waves. So where do you want to start? What do you want to talk about?
The micro movie thing is really interesting because apparently there's tons of them being made. I've never watched any of them. But the problem is how they're being run.
Ooh, okay. Talk to me more about that.
Yeah. Basically, like you show up, there's, no trailer. You're shooting, like a season a week, or something like that. They just shoot really fast. And everything I've heard says they are terrible to work on, but they're also like some of the only things shooting in LA right now. Yep.
That is not unlike the reality craze we went through in the 2000s and early 2000s.
That's exactly what it was. And I was also going to say, as much as I love them, kind of like shooting for The Asylum, where like you're getting a movie credit and you're 23, but like you're not making enough money to live.
Exactly. Yeah.
Although and the Davids over there and Paul, like they were great guys. But yeah, it's like it's outside of quote unquote the system. These a lot of these mini-sodes or whatever they're called, the micro series.
Yeah,
and it seems like they're going to do as much as they can before someone pulls the plug.
100%. Definitely going to do that. I mean, I believe that there's definitely avenues to use micro cinema in good, artistic, creative ways, and maybe some of that's going to come out. But this is just going to be more lifetime stuff. Like, I mean, that's just the easiest route to be able to utilize this, and that's what they're going to utilize it for. Lowest common denominator, whatever works in that space, even on a micro movie, and that makes me sad.
Well, that's what they're finding. They're finding that it's basically like it's probably going to be like the new the new soap opera.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fine, and it is for certain people, and certain people are going to enjoy that. The people that still watch stuff on Facebook that way, then those old ladies are going to have a blast.
Yeah.
What are we talking about? So we got those. I think that after last year, we had so many great movies. Honestly, I felt like we had great movies last year. I think that trend's going to continue. I think at the end of this year, we're going to at least have 7, 8, maybe 9 movies that we go, wow, let's talk about those. Maybe not as old-timers, but like movies that we will remember for the next decade or two. Are there anything... I mean, we got the Brad Pitt one coming. We've, Cliff Booth. We got, a couple of other things. But is there anything that you think is just going to be, oh, you know what? Let me go ahead and assume that Project Disclosure's on your list of probably going to be one of the best movies of the year?
That's not the name of it. Disclosure Day.
Sorry, I keep doing that. Yeah, sorry. It's my fault for typing the notes incorrectly. That's what I keep...
I think
Disclosure Day.
Isn't Project Disclosure the Disclosure Project? That's the documentary that came out last year.
I think you are correct. Yep.
Yeah. Disclosure Day.
Yes, thank you.
He hasn't gone wrong with aliens yet.
I hear you. I agree. I'm very fascinated to see just all this. Like, what's he? 78 now? However old he is, 75.
Yeah. No. He's almost 80.
What he's seeing, what he feels on a movie set nowadays. He's been doing talks and talking to different people. He doesn't do, any kind of, what does he not do? He doesn't do the pictures that you draw. Well, he doesn't do commentaries either, but he blocks, and he blocks like with the second. Yeah, he does a storyboard, but he blocks with the second group first, the second crew first. And then he goes back to do it the first. I don't think anybody else does it like that. And apparently it just works wonders for him so people understand the blocking. And so then when he's with the first unit, he can actually sit down with the actor and say, this is why I need you in the chair for 5 lines, or, that kind of thing.
Yeah. So famously when he did Catch Me If You Can, they had like an average of, I think, 3 or 4 company moves per day.
Yeah.
And they shot like 75 seconds a day.
So amazing.
So, like, while they were shooting the first unit, second unit was setting up, and he did that. I think he started that back with The Lost World, where like he was just like, I got to move fast.
Yeah.
But he used to storyboard, and then he stopped. And I wonder if like part of it's just like he's done this so much, it's just got to feel right. But like,
sure.
I think a lot of, first of all, he's just a natural talent, duh. But I think a lot of how he shoots also goes back to his television days, where it's like, okay, I have very little time. I've got to get through all this dialogue. I don't have time to get a bunch of coverage. So how am I going to block people and block my camera to make it interesting? Yeah. I'm not just going to set it up 5.5 feet off the ground on a 35 millimeter lens pointed halfway down and just get a static master.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to have like a close-up. I'm going to have the guy walk over here, and it's going to dolly back into a 2-shot. Then I'm going to pan right, and it's going to become like a wide. And then I'm going to dolly. Like, he does so much with just one camera. Like, he really is the master of it.
He is. There's nothing. Yeah. Yes, he is.
There's nobody else.
Just one of one for sure. There's a couple other directors that have stuff coming. Honestly, I'm fascinated by the X-Files. Scorsese's shooting right now. There are a couple of things that may come to Cannes, may not come to Cannes. I heard even that Richard Kelly's working on something right now. I can't imagine it's coming out in 2026, but there's been rumblings that my guy, Richard Kelly, who Southland Tales just celebrating an anniversary today, Ride or Die with Southland Tales.
Has he made anything in like over 10 years?
No, The Box is the last thing he did.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah, I mean, I think that he was the guy who, he loves to make movies, but he is happy not to do that if he doesn't have to deal with the system. I just don't think he's ever had great experiences working in the system. So,
also, like, his movies are very specific, and they're for a very specific type of person, and that's not most people.
No, it is not. But I'll be there for every one of them.
I heard the worst stuff about The Box, and I watched. I'm like, I kind of dig this.
Yeah.
It reminded me of an Outer Limits episode, not Twilight Zone. It reminded me of an Outer Limits episode where it's a little pulpier, you know?
Right. Yeah. I dig that. So he's coming. Are there actors that you're looking for? Anything this year? Again, I don't think Heat's coming out, so I'm not going to get that.
Nah. I'm just hoping that we get through this Netflix, or not the Netflix, but the Paramount Warner Brothers merger without them merging. Like, that's what that's all I kind of care about this year. They've already kind of gone back on their 45-day window, you know? They're
Sure,
already
of course,
not honoring that.
Yeah, sure.
So they definitely won't do it with Warner Brothers. And I don't know, man, because I've been bad talking AI, and to see that, what was it, Disney's $1 billion stake in Sora got pulled.
Yeah.
And, that whole platform got shut down, and then Oracle just laid off 20% of their workforce.
I saw that right before we started.
Right. And it's I'm wondering when this bubble's going to burst, because it is. I'm not saying that AI is going to go away. It's definitely not. But hopefully how it's being used right now will stop. And at some point, we can get some people in Congress to make some laws to make sure we don't, screw all of us out of jobs.
Did you have a feeling about that, the new thing that just popped up where it's a new company and they're giving you coverage and they're telling you how much budget to do and how much you're going to make at the box office?
Okay, the prediction,
yes,
no one can tell.
Exactly.
No one can tell.
Exactly.
No one could have told that Skinamarink was going to make a couple $1 million, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like a 2.5-hour movie of grainy walls with sounds.
Yeah.
It's more than that. I'm being facetious, people. I think it's very effective.
Uh-oh, the Skinamarink people are coming for you.
Right. No, but it's not something that you would think would make any money, and it did. Yeah. So I think AI is bad for that, because AI doesn't understand people. It can understand numbers, and I've run my own tests with it, with breaking down scripts that haven't been produced and breaking down scripts that have been produced and kind of comparing. And it's pretty dead on with how much something is going to cost and how long it's going to take to shoot. It's pretty good with that. But as far as predicting, that episode of Barry, we need to get it out of there, because you never know what's going to have legs. Like Sinners had crazy legs.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of universes where Oppenheimer made $50 million. If that doesn't catch a wave like it does and hook with Barbie and everything else, I mean, that movie could have not made very much money at all.
Right.
In a general world, trying to sell that idea of a movie, good luck. But it just happened to catch that wave, and it worked out. But definitely could have lost a whole shit ton of money.
Well, especially when normally that movie would build up to The Test.
Sure.
And The Test in that was kind of underwhelming, right?
Yeah.
Because it's not about that. In fact, the press conference afterwards, where he has that panic attack, is a lot more effective and a lot more panic-inducing than the actual test, right?
Agreed. Yeah.
So, yeah, it's one of those that, it probably Yeah, you're right. In another universe, it wouldn't have made its budget back.
I mean, there's 100 movies that we could look back and see that there was one thing that happened good for them. There was one thing that bad thing happened for them. I mean, I just think back in even a music that's just happens to be what I'm thinking about right now. There was a record that was supposed to come out on September 13th that had the Twin Towers exploding on them, and it's oh well, we can't do that anymore. And sometimes it's just about timing. I wish I remember that group. It was a rap group, and they had it, and it was the whole thing. Different world back then. 01. Different world. We still hadn't seen Michael Clayton yet.
Oh, man.
Are you excited about 2026 movies just in general?
I think I might be talking for some other people too when I say this.
Yeah.
It's hard to stay focused on movies when it feels like the world's ending. Where you turn on the news and it's hey, Australia has such bad storms that it's literally bright red outside. It's just completely red. Yeah. Or Dubai is flooded and has a lightning storm going on that probably would have created a religion 1,000 years ago.
Yeah. And then Nebraska's on fire.
And no one's even talking about that. Yeah. No. And it's hard for me to care at this point. And I think that's a big part of it. Movies used to be our escape. Movies were one of the only things that actually thrived during the Great Depression. I don't see that happening right now. And more people are worried about money. And instead of movies being a cheap release and escape from life, it has become another expensive thing. I took my kids to to see Jurassic Park at the Alamo Drafthouse for one of their movie parties, and tickets alone were $100. Tickets. It's gotten crazy expensive. If you want to get a 4K of Tombstone, you have to get the Steelbook, and that's only that thing sold out in under an hour, and that's $50. Yeah. It's these things, there are no dollar theaters anymore. There's you have streaming, but even that's getting more expensive, and you've got commercials during it now. Hey, so it's
Tubi's my jam. I'm in on Tubi.
Me too, but you still have commercials throughout, and that's fine because you're not paying for it. But all these others where you pay for it and you still have to watch commercials, that's a double dip. But you do that so you don't have to pay $50 for one. Oh, mine just came in today too.
As you're talking about expensive shit, hey, look, 50% off on Criterion, plus they gave me $10 because they love me over there. So my Killers of the Flower Moon only cost $15, and boy, was that a great purchase. Oh man, yeah, no, I hear you. I hear you. Yeah, obviously it's different for me because I am one single person who doesn't have to take other people. I've got a membership to the Loft. I have the Loft, and you don't have that, and I completely get that. I mean, that's just the luck of the draw of where I'm at and how wonderful a theater that is. I also have Galaxy Theater, which is the only chain theater company in the United States that's independently owned. So I always try to support them as well.
AMC does have that program where it's $20 a month, and you can see 4 movies a week.
Yeah.
And that's great, but a lot of times there aren't 4 movies a week that I want to see.
Right.
Especially at AMC.
Sure. Yes, indeed. I hear you.
That's not against AMC. It's just some of the stuff that I might want to see isn't going to play in a chain like that.
Sure. Yeah. Nope. I know the feeling. Galaxy will surprise me sometimes. I love that they have the Monday night surprise movie too, because this year, I remember the Mastermind was one of the surprise movies, and my friend Kelly Reichardt is not for normal movie audiences. No. And so there were some people who were very offended by that, and I thought that was wonderful. Anyways, yeah, it's just luck of the draw. I mean, I know where you're at, and you need to open up your own movie theater. That's what you need to do.
Man, my wife and I have talked about it. The money thing is what's keeping us from doing it. But I already know exactly the kind of stuff I'd program and how I'd program it. I've dreamt about doing it for years.
Bro, I watched a one of those MSNBC shows about this couple who runs a drive-in theater up in, I don't know, in the Northeast somewhere.
Yeah.
They're clearing about $32,000 a year between the couple. That's what they make per year. I was like, man, that is for the love of the game for sure. Jesus.
If video stores ever became profitable again, I would open one up in a heartbeat.
Well, I'm telling you, the one in my town, it's also a brewery, and that's how they are able to pay for having a movie rental place. You know, they balance it out.
But that's another problem because people are drinking less and less booze.
That's true. Yeah, they are. Bunch of squares. Jesus Christ, bunch of squares out there.
Live venues are closing.
It's crazy. Not for me, darn it. I'm still going. I love my live venues. I love going to my activities. I will keep doing that. I'll be the last one there, and I'm okay with that. I've been that before, and I'll be that again. Anything else we need to hit before we get to the recommendations?
Nah.
All right. Then this is the part of the show where we always love to tell the people a little something to watch in the week ahead. Matt and I always watch stuff so that you don't have to watch the garbage. Or I will tell you to watch garbage, but I'll tell you it's garbage beforehand. Matt never watches garbage. He only watches perfect films. So let's hear what Matt has to say. His recommendation for the week is.
That's not true. I watch tons of garbage. I think you forgot about what I said a few minutes ago where I put Sidekicks on for my wife.
Only the classics, baby.
Right. I'm going to say watch Invasion USA. Watch Invasion USA. It's a canon film. It's one of the most famous, and they blow up a town.
Just blow up an entire town. It's crazy.
It's like a whole street of homes.
Yeah, that's insane. Every time I watch it, it's just like, oh, I love that. I love that so much. Hey, did I watch Two Guns this week? Yes. Did I cry during it? No. Did I cry during Eddie and Cruisers? There you go. That's what I cried at this week. Only because of the idea of this guy that was so super talented that just like couldn't handle it. You know, I think back about so many of my heroes that like were in that situation and all the pressure as an artist and that kind of stuff, you know, just got to me. But my recommendation for this week, so excited to bring this to you. Mike and Nick and Alice, a wonderful time travel movie, just came out this last week on Hulu and I guess Disney. I don't know. I watched it on Hulu. Double Vince Vaughn's, James Marsden, Jimmy Tartro. Boy, I can't say his name, but he's fantastic. And Isa Gonzalez. Boy, I'm bad at names today. But anywho's, wonderful film. Had a lot of fun. It is, just one of those funsies, time travel funsies movies. Don't try to make too much logic out of their time traveling, but otherwise, buy the ticket, take it the ride. That's what I say. Oh, 79% Rotten Tomatoes because nobody cares. 3 out of 4 on Roger Ebert's thumbs up, thumbs down.
Why do they still call it that? He's been dead forever.
I know. I don't know. Trademark, baby. Who knows? What are you gonna do? All right, man. We've talked about things. I think we've talked everything we need to talk about. Anything else before we go?
See ya.